Hi and welcome to a tutorial. My name is Luni and today we're going to talk about autotune. I have been in a dilemma with myself throughout my career if I should be using autotune because I don't want my music to sound fake. But at the same time, now that I have a lot more experience with music production and have a lot of fellow producers, I've heard actually really great things. So I have just downloaded this last week and I quite like the sound of it. And I just wanted to share a quick tutorial. I've seen some tutorials on it really long, so I just want to get straight back into it. There's two different ones. The one that I'm going to showcase now is the autotune that I've added on afterwards I did my recording, but you can also use the autotune artist that you can do in real time. So first of all, I want to show you what the vocal sounds like without anything on it.
In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray, calling on the power of heaven, I proclaim.
Okay, you get the gist. So what I did with the autotune, let's go through the different elements of it. They actually have some presets that are super helpful, so you can kind of go through that. But the first thing I did, put my input type a soprano because I have a high female voice. And then I chose my key signature, which is F sharp, and it's a major scale. Now this particular button, the retune speed is how much autotune do you want on it. When it goes all the way up, you sound a bit more like T-Pain. Let's hear it.
Against me must break in the mighty name of Jesus.
So you can kind of figure out where it sounds good for you. I think that was my worst fear, was like, oh my God, it's going to sound super fake, but it actually doesn't have to. The flex tune is how much correction you're having in your pitch. It's very similar to the humanize button. So if I have high flex tune, it's less robotic.
Calling on the power of heaven.
I actually feel like I didn't really use this as much when I was going through it. So I would just like fiddle around with it and see what works for you. Same with the humanize. The more you humanize it, the more human it's going to sound. That's what it says on the tin. Then there's a natural vibrato. I liked neither of these when I turned them on. When you turn it to the right, so positive, it makes more vibrato.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Sounds like that. And if it's less, it just makes it sound a bit funny and weird. So let's hear that.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Yeah, it just doesn't. If you double click, it goes back to 0. Happy days. What I did here though is one of the producers that I do follow that works with people that have a lot of vibrato, and sometimes I do that too. Like, she doesn't even set the key and she sets the scale to chromatic. So that's something I'm going to trial out with my music, is kind of fiddle around with these things in order for the autotune to sound more natural and just kind of like lift the pitch where it's a little bit out and not necessarily as a robotic filter. But this is what it sounds like when it's all together with the rest of the plugins that I use. I got some saturation, some subtractive EQ mostly, some yummy EQ for vibes. I've got a compressor and then I've got some reverb, and this is what it sounds like in context with the lead vocal.
In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray, calling on the power of heaven, I proclaim every weapon formed against me.
With the backing vocals, because backing vocals is just life. It sounds so smooth on backing vocals though.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
You can kind of hear it is a tiny bit like metallic, or it's very smooth, and I don't really mind it for this particular song because it's lo-fi. But if this was a ballad, I would probably dial it down, but I quite like the effect of this.
In the mighty name of
There.
Jesus. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray, calling on the power of heaven, I proclaim
This is without autotune.
every weapon formed against me must break in the mighty name of Jesus.
Also, another thing that I forgot to share is actually super helpful within Autotune Pro By the way, this video is not sponsored. Autotune, please sponsor me. Um, you can go into graph mode, which is similar to Melodyne that I also use sometimes, but Melodyne just takes a really long time. So Autotune is getting a point in my books. And this is where you can kind of pitch individual notes if you feel like it didn't do a good job. You can just kind of dance around with it. But auto mode is like when it does it automatically. Graph mode is that you can do it by yourself. And the artist version, I just opened it real quick because when I did the autotune and I was recording, it just had it just had latency, and it's not nice to record with latency. You can't really do that. So this is what that looks like. So it's the same knobs and you can kind of fiddle away with it. This is a little bit more simple, but it can be great if you're doing it in real time. So good luck creating. And if you have any more questions regarding production tips, vocal chains, and things like that, just get in touch. Bye.